He slammed his fist on the table so hard the cup rattled. The hot coffee splashed across his shirt, and his voice filled the quiet diner like thunder. "Can't you watch what you're doing?" he barked, heads turned. Forks paused midair. The young waitress froze, her hands trembling, her lips parting, but no words came. If you believe true kindness always finds its way back, please tap the like button now and subscribe to support more stories like this. Mark had been having one of those days that seemed cursed from the moment the alarm went off. His boss had chewed him out for missing a deadline, his car's check engine light blinked on during his commute, and now, his one attempt at a quiet lunch in a small-town cafe had turned into a disaster. He looked down at the spreading stain on his dress shirt and muttered about incompetence and people who can't do a simple job. The waitress, a thin young woman with chestnut hair tucked behind her ear, stammered an apology. Her name tag read Emily. She wiped the table quickly and whispered, "I'm so sorry, sir," before hurrying toward the kitchen. Mark didn't even look at her. He just sat there fuming, muttering under his breath, drowning his frustration in bitterness and caffeine. The other customers whispered. One older man shook his head. Mark noticed, but pride kept him from caring. When the bill arrived, it was laid quietly on the edge of his table. Emily wasn't there. Another waitress had dropped it off. Mark signed the receipt quickly, tossed a few crumpled bills on top, and stood up to leave. But as he reached for his jacket, he noticed a small folded napkin resting beside the check, something written on it in careful pen strokes. He almost ignored it, but something about the uneven handwriting caught his eye. He unfolded it. The note read, "Sir, I'm truly sorry I spilled your coffee. I've been trying to get better at this. My vision isn't what it used to be. I lost most of it last year in an accident. I still work because I need to pay for my brother's medical care. He was with me that night. Please forgive me if I seemed clumsy. I didn't mean to ruin your day." Below the message, she had left a $5 bill, her own money, tucked inside. Mark froze. The diner around him blurred. His anger melted into shame that burned far worse than the spilled coffee ever had. He read the note again, each word hitting like a quiet hammer to his chest. He pictured her shaky hands, the way she tilted her head slightly when he shouted, as if trying to locate his voice rather than meet his eyes. For the first time that day, Mark didn't think about himself. He looked toward the counter. Emily stood there, carefully counting change by touch, her eyes distant and unfocused. She smiled faintly when another customer thanked her, even though she never looked directly at them. Mark walked up to the register, heart pounding with something he hadn't felt in a long time, humility. He handed the cashier a $100 bill and whispered, "Please give this to Emily. Tell her the man she served earlier was wrong. Tell her, thank you." The cashier blinked, surprised. "You sure?" Mark nodded, "Yeah. I think I just got more out of that coffee than I paid for." As he stepped outside, the afternoon sun hit his eyes, warm and forgiving. He leaned against his car and took a long, shaky breath. The anger that had chased him all morning seemed small now, like a shadow shrinking under the light of something bigger. Driving back to the office, he found himself glancing at every waitress, every cashier, every tired face he passed, wondering what silent battles they might be fighting too. That night, Mark wrote an email to his boss, not about deadlines or stress, but about kindness. He told him he'd be volunteering that weekend at a local shelter, just to start giving back somehow. And when he got home, he placed that coffee-stained napkin on his fridge as a reminder. See people, not mistakes. We'd love to hear your story. What is the most memorable act of unexpected kindness you have witnessed or received? Share it in the comments below. Weeks later, Mark stopped by that same diner again. Emily wasn't there. Another waitress said she'd taken time off to care for her brother after his surgery. On the counter sat a small jar labeled for Emily's recovery fund. Without thinking, Mark emptied his wallet into it. He smiled softly and whispered, "Thank you for teaching me how to see." If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a reminder that kindness still matters. Because sometimes, the smallest act, or a simple note on a napkin, can open eyes that were never blind, just unseeing.